for the organization's finances to get back on track, a number of initiatives that were begun in September will need to play out over the next 4 or 5 years. Where are we right now, you may be wondering? Well, it's probably too soon to tell too much yet, but we can update you on what we've seen thus far. Many branches have begun to adjust their staffing levels. Some have postponed certain purchases. And, of course, all of the construction projects that were put on hold or canceled have been wound down or in the process of being wound down very quickly. We've received the reports from September, and donations seem to have returned to their normal levels in the previous year. As the governing body recently announced to Bethel families, in the months of July and August, there was an increase of donations in response to the May broadcast of around $30 million. That's showing real appreciation and support on the part of our brothers worldwide, and they're to be commended for that. However, until the general donation picture changes substantially, the organization will need to hold to the course set by the governing body with respects to spending, not only this year, but in the coming years as well. The real estate sales around the world have been accelerated to the extent possible. We have close to 3,000 properties scattered around the globe that need to be sold, many of them smaller properties of limited value, but in total, there represents a substantial amount of future income from the sale of those properties.
But at the time of the preparation of this report, you can see the benefits. I don't know if you can see the total figures, but before this plan, we had over 100 or about 195 overcrowded auditoriums. Overcrowded auditoriums are auditoriums with more than 4 congregations. But after merging and relocating congregations, better utilizing congregations, with the 30 studies that are represented in this report, we're down to now only 32 overcrowded auditoriums. So you see the benefit of initiating this master plan, and that represents over $100 million in savings because of this master plan. So Jehovah's really blessing that. And besides the savings of the dedicated funds, it's really unifying the brothers and sisters when they take part in this. You can see from these pictures here that the brothers are welcome when they attend their new congregations. One elder said, "It's the best thing that has happened to us in a long time. Everyone is talking about the increased support for field service and having a larger elder body." One 85-year-old sister expressed herself. She says how wise this decision was to merge in her Kingdom Hall complex. They received 18 publishers from a congregation that was merged. In her words, she says, the congregation received a breath of fresh air. She was happy to see the Kingdom Hall now full again.
Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
Love those clips. That's a couple from their, leaked videos that we're still working on. And we find these very telling, don't we, Mikey?
Well, it just shows how desperate Watchtower and Bible Crap Society is for saving funds. But the way they're spinning it is that, well, Jehovah is blessing us.
Yeah. And I want to thank Fader for, sending us these leaked videos, and Atlantis. Now, Fader is putting these up on a YouTube channel, and I'm going to put the link down below because they're getting these videos put up for all of you, to have the entire meetings, since we're just grabbing clips here and there. But I find it interesting that they keep mentioning over and over again the non-constructive solution.
Yeah.
And as you heard in this, they did need 195 kingdom halls, but now down to 32 overcrowded auditoriums.
Yeah, overcrowded. Really, Watchtower, overcrowded.
And I also want to mention that at the end of that last clip, that 85-year-old sister, it was like a breath of fresh air, because they got all these new elders and ministerial servants and more publishers, and it's good to see the Kingdom Hall full again, which tells you it was empty and discouraging everyone. So what they're doing, and this is what they're doing, Mike, is they're lying to these Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with growth. This means that it's getting so empty at Kingdom Halls, and it's discouraging the Jehovah's Witnesses sitting there looking around, that they're merging these congregations, and guess what? It's a breath of fresh air. We have a bunch of publishers and the Kingdom Hall's full again. It has nothing to do with growth.
Nothing at all.
Now, I also noticed, Mikey, that when he's talking about, their initiative plan and all of this, and he talks about general donations, they're hoping these general donations to get back up to par. What they failed to mention to everybody is they have investments in the stock market. Most of us know this already. They even have an investments department that is separate from the Watchtower Corporation. In fact, I believe it's actually a corporation in itself in my list of corporations. But I want to remind everybody that several years ago, they were taking in like $900 million a year just from their investments.
Yep.
But they won't mention this to Jehovah's Witnesses, because then guess what? Oh, I guess we can invest in the stock market. Take that gamble.
Well, there again, when the individual rank and file is investing in the stock market, that's less money that Watchtower has to invest, because it's going to the stock market and not the Watchtower and Babel Crop Society.
Well, like I asked Cousin Richard, Elder Richard, when we first started waking up, how come the society can do investments, have these investments, and the rank and file are discouraged from investing because you're putting your security in Satan's system, your trust in Satan's security, and you can't even get a lottery scratcher because that's gambling. And even the world recognizes that investing is a gamble. Now, the reason I personally feel that they're not getting as much from their investments that they used to is, one, we have IRS records where they're selling off a lot of these investments, some of their big ones. And number two, they don't want the rank and file to see that they're investing in like these military corporations that are making military equipment, or investing in
tobacco companies,
or like movies. Some of these stocks they have in movies. And Cousin Richard even said, oh, but that's different, because these are willed to the Watchtower Society through these estates from people, and they just keep them and rake in the money. Hypocrites.
But when you listen to the beginning of this knucklehead, he says there's a number of initiatives that they're looking at. You guys forgot one initiative. It's crucial that we stop Mike and Kim's nail in the coffin. Yes, and it is crucial that we stop this nail in the coffin, because it's letting the rank and file realize that, hey, we're not growing, we're actually shrinking. And one of the initiative is we have to save money, and so far we've saved money with the tune of over $100 million.
Just by stopping construction.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's continue on with the nail in the coffin.
Okay, now the last video, and we apologize for taking so long to get to the nail and coffin, but we've got a pink nail right here that was the last name.
Yeah, right. This was the last name.
In the last video, which was May 27th, and that was Jennifer. We need to add her family.
And
So
it's these three right here.
her husband Glenn, her daughter Jessica, and a friend Caitlin.
Very good.
Awesome. Okay, and then a family wanted to be in the J, so we're going to go to them in the white. And this is for Jessica, Chance, Ocean, Jax, Autumn.
Now this is their children also, right?
I would assume so.
Okay.
All I have is family.
So, okay, so you've got a husband, a wife, and 3 children. That now means that you 3 children can now buy ice cream and not give that money to Watchtower.
Good point.
You have ice cream money now.
Okay, then we have a family of 6 in the dark blue.
Let's see, let me try to right up here, guys.
Coffin
Right
lid
here.
getting too heavy?
Well, it's just
Well, it's
bulky
bigger.
now.
Well,
Yes.
it's bigger. Okay, so the dark blue, this is a family. We have Danielle, Terencio, Chelsea, Naya, Jerome, and Ethan.
Hey, guys, the money that you would normally donate to Watchtower, you know, ice cream money instead of buying ice cream, take your family to a theme park and just splurge. Just shove it in Watchtower's face and say, ha ha ha, you're not getting this money.
Well, Aunt Mo gave that talk about you should go visit the house of God instead of an
Screw
amusement
that.
park. Forget Bethel. Take them to an amusement
Go
park.
to the amusement park. Hey, it's summertime. You can do that now.
Yeah. Now, the next 2, which are red, we've actually known for a while now. In fact, since we came out. And so I want to say congratulations to Sherry and Josiah.
Right here.
Little one on the way.
Nice.
So there is another kid that won't have to grow up in this cult, won't have to have nightmares.
And we'll have plenty of ice cream money.
Yes. Love you guys. Okay, the next one, a family of 6, should be yellow.
Right here.
Okay, this is for Danny, Cheryl, their mom, then Sasha, Travis, and Brandy. Okay, and then we've got, they wanted teal, and we're running out of teal pens. We didn't even have any teal.
Yeah, so we gave you clear blue instead.
Clear teal, kind of a clear teal.
Yeah.
This is for Sue, Dan, and I'm not sure if it's Caden or Cadden. I apologize, it's one or the other. I'm thinking it's Caden. I should have asked him. Okay, then we have green. Okay, this should be for Kim, Angelo, and Caitlin.
Boy, Watchtower, look at all the ice cream money that you're missing out on.
Now we've got a family of 5, and they sent me their story. Thank you so much, guys. Oh my goodness, wait till you hear this one. Yellow should be Sean, Jenny, Jacob, Emily, and Shonda. Okay. And then the next couple is for Eve and Veronica. They are up in Canada, so it's French. So Eve and Veronica. But we are going to leave 2 spaces for your kids.
Right here.
Because Living Waters YouTube channel contacted us, I believe was the one. Anyway, another YouTuber contacted us and had told us you wanted to be Nails and Coffin, and then I talked to you on Facebook, but we're going to leave 2 spaces for your kids.
All right.
There's always hope. There's always hope.
Of course there is.
Okay, so then we've got black,
Put you
family
right
of
here.
3. This is for Rebecca,
In the leg of the P.
Antonio, Tomas. And I hope that's how you pronounce it, because here in New Mexico, that spelling is pronounced Tomas,
Tomas.
not Thomas. It's
Right.
Tomas.
Tomas. These 3 right here.
And then the dad is going to be in the old timers. So
Let me do that one now or later?
let's finish the names.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have a single purple.
Right here.
This is for Melissa above the R. Okay, and then we've got a green one that is for Bev. And then we have an orange one and a ALT. And then we've got a red one for Susan.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now the old timers.
Oh, here we go.
GY, Linda, and we have 2 sisters, Jillian and Marilyn, and then an uncle and nephew, Mikey and DR. And that Mikey's actually the one that we've been talking to on the phone.
Oh,
So,
okay.
welcome
Wonderful.
to your freedom, everybody.
Absolutely. Welcome to your freedom and enjoy that ice cream money.
And the amusement park and just getting out and having a normal life.
Yes.
You know, instead of slaving away for a cult.
Yes.
Now I'm going to start with that family story first from Jenny. Hi, Mike and Kim. Sorry it took so long to get some of our story to you. No need to apologize. It took me a while to go through my nail and coffin emails. Our daughter at the age of 12 was sexually abused by an elder in the Munfordville, Kentucky congregation. He was 33 at the time. We're so sorry, for her abuse. Horrible, horrible. He started grooming her at the age of 11. We also found out he sexually touched our youngest daughter at age 9. Our oldest daughter was also being groomed from another man who was a servant in the congregation. We also found 6 letters from that servant son telling our daughter what he wanted to do to her sexually, but never signed his name, only an initial. Sickos. When we eventually turned all this in, the elders in that congregation covered it up.
Guys, how is this any different than the temple prostitution that was practiced among the Israelites way back when? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing coming full circle, and we see this in multiple religions. It's temple prostitution. It's horrible.
Yeah, and like we keep saying, these elders are doing more damage to your organization, Watchtower, than any of us ever could.
Yeah.
Okay, they covered it up, which were this elder's family and best friend, mind you, and threatened us with disfellowshipping if we ever spoke a word of it.
Common tale.
Very common. So this is not an isolated incident. We hear this constantly. We went through 4 suicide attempts, countless hospitalizations, many mental health facilities, and even at one point lost her to the state because of her suicide attempts, all driven from what was done to her sexually and emotionally by the elder and servant. That's why Watchtower's paying out all of these.
Yeah, that's why they're losing money. That's why they're having to sell properties.
Yeah, and I love, to see these families, that this happened to file court cases, but unfortunately not everybody can withstand that. But when we turned it in, we found ourselves being treated like we were shunned, and the elder was being loved up by everyone. This is only bits and pieces of our story, but if we were given the chance, we would love to tell you all of it because there is so much more. You guys got to save a little bit so you can do your own YouTube videos,
Start your
and
own
give
channels.
your voice to it, you know. But if you got a lawsuit going, you have to be careful because you don't want to talk about anything that would be, against the litigation. We faded away about a year ago, and it was the best decision we ever made. You said only a few paragraphs, but so much more detail is involved with our story. We would be happy if you would add our entire family in the nail in the coffin. And we want the color yellow. So our hearts and thoughts and love go out to you and your family, to your entire family, because this is a difficult, and we're thankful she's still here with us.
Yes.
Okay.
And now it's time for the congregation closures.
Yes,
and or
sir.
mergings, because whenever they merge 2 congregations, they lose one.
Yep. Okay. We have the Wheatland, New York. Closed about 8 months ago. The Gates Chili Kingdom Hall, and it will be closing soon. And they're going to be closing the Mount Morris, New York, they did about 8 months ago. All right. And then we've got the Undercliff, Bradford, UK, completely renovated and then promptly sold. Now, I gotta ask, they were just complaining in those clips about watching their spending. Why would they spend the money to completely renovate a Kingdom Hall
And then sell it.
unless you get more money for it? Mm-hmm. Okay, then we got the Great Horton Congregation in Bradford, UK. The Belden Congregation in Perth, Australia. And regards the Watnow Jewels. It's WOTIKNOWNOW. It's one of those I am not gonna.
So that was actually Kingdom Hall.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And Jewels. Okay, then we got Hugo, Oklahoma. You can see the photo of that one. Then we have the Norfolk Kingdom Hall in O'Neill's, California, and that was near the Yosemite National Park. Now, I will put the property listing to that one down below because it sold for $118,000, but it had 10 acres. Mm-hmm. And there's no Kingdom Halls nearby for that congregation to go by, so they're going to have to drive. All right, now the Steppel, Stoepel Park, Michigan, merged with the Rouge Park. And the person that told us this was never JW, but they overheard conversations about this merging. And they also heard that Detroit, Michigan is going to have some mergings and closings. So if anyone knows about that, put it down below in the comments. Okay, then the Fort Smith, Arkansas Kingdom Hall is up for sale. The 24th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale is up for sale. And the Jasper, Georgia is up for sale.
So what do we got? 12 Kingdom Halls, so congregations that are being affected by this, I don't know, growth watchtower?
13.
13, yeah, 13. Yep.
13.
This is just way too much fun, isn't it, dear?
Oh, I know it. I know it. Now remind me, we gotta tell that. All kinds of things here. Got Post-it notes everywhere. Okay, hello there. Thanks for having added us on the last Coffin Lit. I would like to tell you of all the Kingdom Halls and Assembly Halls that are on sale. The Bethel in Rome is sold too, and now they bought a new building. Here in the U.S., we call this baloney. Anything to do with Watchtower is baloney. But a city in North Italy at the cost of 95 million euro. So they sold their Rome Bethel and they bought a new one. And bitching about money, trying to save money, and they spend 95 million euros? Wow. Okay, it gets even better. And they're asking for money and free slavery to make the building become the new Bethel house. Many people are asking where all the money are going and waking up.
They're waking up because of what you're doing, Watchtower.
Yeah.
Forget what the apostates are doing online. It's what you guys are doing behind closed doors.
Yeah. Now, Ozzy here, thank you so much, because Ozzy brought up something that all of us aren't thinking about.
And what's that?
Brilliant. I don't believe anyone spoke about the consequences of the bubbling body selling that property in Brooklyn, New York. Just like in all other places, the young people do not stay in this religion. They created a shortfall of young brothers to become ministerial servants. This job was being handled by the Bethelites who were assigned to those congregations. Okay? When Bethel threw these people out into the street and sold that property, it created an instant shortage of brothers as both elders and ministerial servants. Okay, now think about this. You know, they got rid of everybody in Brooklyn there, so all those congregations that were in that Brooklyn, New York area, the Bethelites were serving this. So when they kicked them out, all of these, servants and elders were sent back home to their congregations. So this left a shortfall. And not everybody, none of us have thought about that. So this is good. Where I used to live, there were 3 congregations that shared the Kingdom Hall in the factory buildings. One congregation had already failed and was disbanded in the 90s and was rolled back into the parent. So even at Brooklyn headquarters,
They're dissolving.
they're losing members.
Disbanding congregations.
Yeah. When the bubbling body sold those buildings, the friends, mostly elderly, that used that hall for decades now have to go several miles away to the nearest congregation. So what was once 4 congregations is now only 1. My cousin, who lives in another part of Brooklyn, who is the only one of us still left in this garbage. So Mike and I will add 3 more pins to the coffin lid. Told us that they had merged several congregations together and there was now 200 plus people in her hall. Now think about it. They've got all these publishers, but a shortage of brothers.
Yeah.
I don't think she understands what's going on. And I don't think many of us in the XJW community, us activists realized, what really would be going on too.
Yeah.
All we know is, they moved to Warwick. We don't think about the congregations that were left behind.
In New York City themselves,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not only did Watchtower cause a severe problem in New York by throwing out those Bethelites and moving, there was still the problem of so many people leaving this cult, which is putting a further drain on the Watchtower. On top of the original problem of the young brothers not staying, that's why they had to consolidate those congregations. It will only get worse as time goes on. Yeah, because you could have a congregation of 200 publishers, but maybe only 2 elders?
Oh, whatever it is. It's just...
Yeah.
The workload among the elder body is straining. There's a huge strain, and a lot of these longtime elders are now getting burnt out because we're getting the emails.
Yeah. On a second note, you mentioned how the elders themselves are running people off by treating them like crap.
Of course.
That was definitely my experience. Before I left New York, I was lied to, blackmailed, and then treated like crap by the elders in my congregation. They used a goal I acquired to blackmail me into doing something else I didn't want to. Then when I started to figure this out and I took their prize away from them, they had the nerve to stop speaking to me for a time. You may think this is a remote incident. No, we don't. This is very common. I wish I could say it was. I moved to Florida and the same type of abuse was going on. I have been here for almost 30 years and had not received one shepherding call. Not that I want one.
I think you hold the record because we went for like 25 years without getting a shepherding call. I think you hold the record there, Ozzy.
However, one particular elder knew where to find me whenever he needed his computer serviced. Of course.
Of course.
He also used to work on his car right outside my apartment front door and never bothered to knock to see how I was, give me a word of encouragement, leave a track or anything. There was one Watchtower study where the brother on the platform had called on someone in the audience to answer a question. However, no one got up to handle the microphone.
Wow.
Back then, I believed this was God's house, so even though I'm not a servant, I got up to give the person the microphone.
No, you didn't take the initiative. You didn't really.
How
That's
presumptuous.
unheard of. Yeah, that's like reaching out and touching the Ark of the Covenant.
He's teasing. It was only then when one of the other brothers got up and relieved me of the mic, and so I went and sat back down. At the end of the meeting, my book study conductor decided to berate me right there in the Kingdom Hall. If it were just him and I, it would have been one thing, but this moron was about 40 feet away from me, yelling at me, telling me about my poor field service and that they had to draw the line somewhere, right in front of the entire group of friends collecting in the back to leave the hall. They actually treated me like I was trying to steal some kind of privilege. It's amazing. Wow. A thief will always be the first one who accuses someone else of stealing. I couldn't give a damn about being a servant, but I did give a damn about the operation of God's house, what I thought at that time. There is more, but you get the gist. I wanted to share with you how right you are about the elders. Those elders are doing more to bolster the apostate cause than any activist.
Yep.
Keep it up, elders. You're doing a fine job.
Amen to that one, brother.
Thank you for treating me like shit and snatching those rose-colored contacts off my eyes. I am extremely grateful. By the way, both the congregation I attended in New York and the one I attended in Florida are both gone. Oh boy, so I guess we're going to add 5 more pins to the coffin lid. We'll do that after the video. See how great a job these elders are doing. Theocratic expansion at its best.
Isn't it fun mocking Watchtower?
Yeah.
My
Thank you,
goodness.
Ozzy.
Yes, thank you so much.
And we will add those pins after the video. Okay. Now, I just want to mention that we have, Shyla has a friend and a co-worker, and she has celiac disease. And that means that they have to be very careful about any kind of glutens or wheat or something like that. And I didn't fully understand it. And she had said something about gluten-free lotion. And Shyla asked her, she says, I thought it was only what you eat. And she says, no, even lotion on your skin, soaking it in, has to be gluten-free. And it's like, oh, I didn't understand how bad it was. So just to show you, this person is a Catholic, or at least used to be. And she went up to the priest and says, I can't take communion because the crackers are made with wheat.
That's right. I remember Shyla telling us this. Yeah. Yes.
Can I make my own or bring my own that are gluten-free so that I can use that for communion? You know what this preacher said?
Well, since I know the story, I know what was said.
No.
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 Wow. Just like the Watchtower Bible Tract Society, aren't they?
So they don't care about their members.
No. All they care about is, well, the pomp and circumstance. That's all the smoke and the mirrors, the facade that these religions put forth in the name of Christ, in the name of God. But you get on the individual level when there's a situation like this Catholic woman has with celiac disease. There is no give and take. It's
love.
Either this
or the highway.
Yeah, exactly.
So this Catholic woman is no longer going to the Catholic Church, and now our daughter Shyla is talking to her about how cults and how they work. So we hear a lot of these type of experiences. In fact, we just heard, Mike was just telling me about a Mormon family that is shunning their daughter because she happened to move in with her boyfriend now. So when Mormons tell you they don't shun,
they do.
They're a cult also, and
they
shun.
Yep.
So, and I know that's going to hurt many of your little feelings that, are in these religions I just mentioned.
But trust me, there is a safe space for you.
But when any religion does something like this, or if any religion follows the BITE model, like information control, that is a cult.
Behavior control, thought control, emotion control.
If you're in this religion and you feel you have to attack someone else because they don't have the same beliefs as you, you're in a cult.
You're in a cult. Your mind is stuck in a cult.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you, everybody. And I'm sorry if I have missed anybody. You can go to our Facebook page, Watchtower's Coffin Lid, and put your name in there if you want to be on the coffin lid. The colored nails are for anyone that came out after 2014. The old timers are for those that came out before 2014. And we would love to add your name to this coffin lid. Let's fill up this coffin lid this year.
All right, everybody. I guess thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll catch you next time around.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.